Okay, everyone. One of the last series in my little webinars here is going to be on a great resource that Berkeley College provides to you. It's called CareerShift. I most likely will or have sent you the registration instructions. When you open this PDF file, it'll tell you a little bit about CareerShift and how it can help you, but most importantly, you'll see here the registration instructions. So please follow this exactly. I've had some people call me back and say they're not, able to register. I think that maybe they left the group ID or they populated their group ID with the access code, and ultimately it told them they couldn't register. So just follow it exactly, step by step. You'll definitely be able to create an account. I believe you have to use your Berkeley email, which if it's been some time since you have opened your email, you might have to call the help desk to get that reinstated, but you can always continue to use your Berkeley email as long as you do that. But if you just graduated or you're still a student, it still should be active. Register this account with your Berkeley email. Otherwise, you only have about 24 hours access or something. But these are the registration instructions. I probably have sent it to you in an attachment. We've talked about it. But open this up, follow the instructions, and ultimately it'll bring you to the CareerShift webpage. So once you register your account, you'll either be logged in or you have to log in, and it should look something like this. But basically, you're just using this as a job searching tool. Okay, so if you just click on jobs and go to search, it's going to work the same way that like Indeed.com or CareerBuilder, Monster works. There's a search box. So if you're a surgical tech, you can type in surgical technologist. Obviously, if you're sterile processing, any other major, you can type in any keyword that will help you find what jobs are available for your particular position. You want to make sure that search by area is clicked to be open. And then all you have to do is search for the keywords, whatever zip code you're in. We'll just put for Woodland Park for illustrative purposes, and say within 25 miles or whatever commutable distance you're open to. But then you run the search. So when you run the search, just like an Indeed or something, you'll get a list of all the jobs that are available. But really what's most important about CareerShift is not only, it doesn't pigeonhole itself into one location to receive job postings. CareerShift, it's a paid subscription that Berkeley pays for. It's free to you guys. But basically this resource will scour the internet. It'll scour Indeed. It'll go to hospital websites. It'll pull jobs kind of anywhere on the internet. So you can see these sources, like this job is posted on Indeed at McBride Surgical Center. This one is posted on Englewood Hospital and Medical Center's website. So first step would be to make sure that whatever you did search for, it's pulling up relative jobs to your search. So we have surgical tech, surgical tech, surgical tech, surgical tech, surgical tech. I mean, we're doing good here. This is a pretty good search. If you had some irrelevant job in here, maybe 1, 2, 3 of them, no big deal. But if you're ultimately getting a ton of different jobs that aren't targeted towards what you're looking for, you may want to come back up and reword the search term that you're looking for. Surgical techs could look for scrub tech, OR tech, OB tech, surgical technologist, surgical tech. Just to give you a couple of ideas on all the different searches you might want to run to kind of cover the market on what the job titles might be that you search for. One other pointer is that when you run a search for surgical technologist, the computer is actually going to look for any job description that contains surgical, any job description that contains technologist, or any job description that contains both the words. If you're finding you have irrelevant search results, or there's some jobs that are pulling in here that aren't really related, put your keywords into quotes, and it'll search for only those job descriptions where these two words are directly right next to each other. So in quotes, it would search for surgical technologist, not anything separate. So you may want to just rerun the search that way, and it'll reduce your results from 61 to 40. I don't know if you saw that happen, but it should be more targeted of a search result. But the great thing about this resource, not only does it find on Indeed and hospital websites, but as soon as you click on it, it brings you right to the company's webpage exactly where you can apply. So, if you look through, scroll down a little bit, here is the job description. You can click right here to apply. You don't have to go through any of the hoops that you would usually have to go through on a hospital website. If you went to their homepage, you might have to pick like what area What category are you searching in? Is it allied health? Is it clinical? Is it administration? You have to kind of figure that out and then figure out what the keyword is. It kind of makes you jump through hoops to find the positions. But here, it brings them all right to you. And then you can kind of partner with me, because we have many contacts at hospitals and surgical centers that hire for your particular role, Surg Tech or SPT. Just let me know what the requisition number was if it's populated there. This just helps me to let the recruiter or hiring manager know which specific job you applied to. So if I call them and I'm trying to help you get an interview set up, I can refer them to this job number and your application will be in there. So right on the phone with me, they can pull up your application. Hopefully I've sent them your resume and we can have a quick conversation to help sell you to the hiring manager and get you an interview. So that's kind of how you can partner with me on it. Just make sure to notate any job numbers you apply to. This would be the same for Indeed or anywhere. If you see a job description and there's a job number, always notate it, because that is a reference number on the recruiter side in their applicant tracking software, where they can find your application quickly. This job is posted under this identification number in their system. So it's very important that you get this and maybe any other details like, hey, John, I applied to a per diem surg tech position at Chilton Medical Center in the operating room. It's per diem. It didn't really tell me what the shift was, but here's the job number. Tell me that kind of stuff. And now I have all the details I need to talk with the manager. Otherwise, they're like, hey, I got 7 surgical tech positions open. Which one are you talking about? Then I got to go back, call you, find out, call them back. Now they're on vacation for 2 weeks or we're playing phone tag. So if I have all this information up front, it just helps me get you in the door faster. You know what I mean? So keep track of your job numbers. Let me know what you're applying to. But, I think this is a great resource to find your jobs, just because it does search Indeed, the hospital websites, and it's kind of an all-encompassing look on what's available right now. So if you're happy with you got a good result on how many jobs you found, they're all relative to what you're looking for. I would definitely recommend saving the search. You can name it, your first name or first and last name 1, Jane Smith 1, or this is my surgical tech search. You know what I mean? You name it whatever you want, and then tell it to send you updates on a weekly basis. So then, theoretically, if today was Monday, every Monday you'll get updates, any new positions that came into this specific search, or any updates to these positions that were done within the past week. So it constantly keeps you on top of what positions are out there. And that applies to, I apologize. That applies to, all the different searches that you run. So if you did scrub tech, let's check this out, right? So scrub tech within 25 miles of 07424. Are they relative? Surgical tech, scrub tech, medical assistants, not really relative. Surgical tech, surgical tech, surgical tech. Pretty good search, but, there's only, it's not telling me how many jobs are in here, but it looks about 6 or 7 jobs. So is this the best search? Maybe not. Maybe we try operating room technician or something. But once you find out that you get, a good amount of jobs and they're relative, you can even save this search and name it, hey, this is my operating room technician search. And then, send me a weekly email on this. So if you have 5 or 6 searches running that you saved, it'll just send you one email with the results from all those different searches. It'll classify by them by the names you saved them under, all in one email. So you can really kind of capture all the new positions that are out there on a weekly basis. So I think it's a great idea. If you have any questions for me, I highly recommend using this, because you stay on top of all the open jobs at hospitals, surgical centers, Indeed. It's kind of a one-stop shop for your job search, and it's free to use. So I would definitely recommend doing that. The only other part of this that I love, if you're an aggressive job seeker and you're very outgoing, you could probably use this portion of CareerShift to help you figure out, hey, who is the manager for sterile processing at St. Michael's Medical Center? If you don't know their name, there's many categories. You really got to play around with this and put in different information to see what you can find out. But, just to show you, if I type in St. Michael's, even just St. Michael's, and then I can search by a position. I might put in, maybe, I don't know what his job title is, but Hopefully it's like sterile processing supervisor. Okay, I just know this example works, but just to illustrate it to you. But ultimately, you can play with this if you know his first name and you know he's a supervisor, sterile processing at St. Michael's. Try that. You can play with it many times, but you can see that this populated with not only his picture, his name, where at St. Michael's Medical Center in Newark, his supervisor, sterile processing. It even has his email on here. So sometimes you'll come across those with direct phone numbers and emails. And then you can decide if you want to conduct, a professional email to send directly to him, like happen to come across your contact information or was referred to you and just wanted to see if you had 5 minutes to discuss my qualifications. Obviously, it would be more of a well-rounded email that you write, but just so you guys understand, if you're aggressively searching, this could help you get right to the hiring manager to put your resume in front of them. If his email wasn't here or phone number, you could ultimately, copy the name and search him out on LinkedIn and maybe, try to connect with him. He'll take a look at your wonderful profile that you just made prior to watching this video and see that you are actually a sterile processing tech, or if this guy was a perioperative services manager, you'll see that you're a surge tech. And if he connects back with you, send him a message and see if you can get that ball rolling. Hey, Julio, I saw you had a position available on, St. Michael's website. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'm very interested in it. Where can I shoot you over my resume to your email? Just try those certain things if you're more the aggressive type. And, obviously you want to be professional at all times. But this might help you get right to the root of who makes the decision on, sterile processing or surge tech positions. I just think it's a great thing to play around with if you guys are a little savvy with how to search. Sometimes you can come across the contacts you're looking to get in touch with. Or at least, develop your LinkedIn network by seeing, who is the sterile processing supervisor at, St. Michael's. And then you can connect with and try to develop that out, see if that potentially is a seed you can plant for the future. I've used this, I've had students that moved to Florida and they were like, hey, how can you help me with finding a position down here? I'd obviously recommend that they use CareerShift and search within that zip code. But I have gone in here and searched out contacts for who is the sterile processing supervisor at, they said Cleveland clinics within 20 miles of me. Okay, so I'll look up who's the supervisor at Cleveland Clinic and see who I can come across. And maybe his contact information is there and I've given him a call and tried to tell him about how great this student is, or, the national certification they have, or blah, 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 and see if I can try to help position the student for an interview, even though they're in Florida. So I just think it's a great resource all around. I would definitely, if you're searching on Craigslist or, some lower level way of finding a job, this would be a prestigious way for you to go about capturing all the jobs that are out there and maybe even potentially finding some contacts that could turn into a job for you. So any questions on CareerShift, let me know. I definitely recommend, finding out what keywords are important to your search. You can ask me. And then, applying to these jobs, keeping me posted on what the job numbers are, letting me help you get an interview, but just staying on top of it. And this is a search you can use as an alumni. So if in a year or two you find yourself, needing to find a different job for whatever reason, you can always log back into this and start running a search, and staying on top of that kind of stuff. So I hope this was helpful. Now at this point, I hope that you have an updated resume, a great looking LinkedIn profile, and a great understanding of how to job search through CareerShift. Please let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully we can now either meet, if we haven't yet, and discuss what job openings I have, and you're really in just a great position to start applying and doing the job search. But most importantly, now we can focus on even more important things, like what is the interview going to look like? What kind of questions should you ask? What questions are they going to ask you? How do I prepare? What should I wear? How do I follow up with employers? How do I send thank you notes? I need help with a cover letter, those kind of things. I just wanted to make some basic videos for you, just to save us both some time, to help you do this in the privacy of your home and at your convenience, get acclimated to this stuff and update your profile and resume. Now we can get down to the nuts and bolts of getting you a job. So again, my phone number 973-278-5400. My extension is 5746. You can also reach me at my email, which you probably have, john-jansen@berkeleycollege.edu, john-jantzen berkeleycollege.edu. I look forward to hearing from everyone. Again, congratulations on either completing the program or your upcoming completion, and look forward to working with you. We'll talk soon.